So I'm here in the back of the shop in the lumber rack. You'll notice that down here is where you get your alder and your oak, and I've pre-cut a bunch of this stuff for you. So if you notice on your cut list, you'll see the sizes of your sides is 3.5 inches by 11.5 inches, and the size of your front and back are 2 3/4 by 9. If you remember back to looking at that put together drawer, you'll remember that our sides have a dado in it, and our front and back do not. Our sides are also 3.5 inches wide, and our front and back is 2 3/4 inches wide. I've got it labeled down here if you forget which one is which. But I'm gonna take whatever I got up here, so all of your scraps should also go back up here. So I'm gonna take this piece right here, which is going to be my side material. It's obviously too long. And then I'm gonna take a couple of these. Now there's some smaller pieces back here, but this is big enough to get a front and back out of. What I ask is that when you're done with this stuff, that you put your scraps back up here so that other people can use them. Don't leave them over by the miter saw. So we're gonna take these two, go to the miter saw and cut them down. I'm over at the miter saw and I've got my side material. Remember, my sides are 3.5 inches and they have a dado in them, and they're 11.5 inches long. Everybody should be that size, whether you had to adjust the size of your drawer or not. And again, 99% of you are not going to have to adjust the size of your drawer. So I'm gonna make 2 of these. I got a left and a right side that are 3.5 by 11 inches long, 11.5 inches long. So I've just cut out on the miter saw. I've got my 2 sides that are 3.5 by 11.5, and I've got my 2 fronts and backs that are 2 3/4 by 9 inches. These are the only ones you may have to modify, but the vast majority of you are not gonna have to modify anything. Now it's time to cut out the bottom of our drawer. The bottom of our drawer is gonna be made out of 1/4 inch MDF. On this storage area, see, I'm just to the side of the miter saw. It's not looking super clean, but some people have left things over here that don't belong, and I'll clean that up. But we wanna use 1/4 inch MDF for the bottom of our drawer. MDF is just raw brown material like this. There should be no wood veneer on it. We do have some 1/4 inch that has wood veneer on it. Please don't use that stuff. This is just a way that we keep the cost down on our project. So if you don't find 1/4 inch MDF to the left of the miter saw, these smaller pieces, you may have to come over here to our lumber rack and cut out pieces of MDF. So I know that everything looks backwards in the camera, but right here, it's in the same bin as the alder, we have our MDF. So I've got 4 sheets of it that are back here, and you may have to put that in the panel saw and cut it down if you can't find anything to the left of the miter saw. So make sure you're using the raw MDF. Don't use the stuff that has the wood veneer on it. The wood veneer stuff is like 70 bucks a sheet. This stuff's only 15 bucks a sheet. I was lucky. I found a piece of bottom material. So right down here, it says material 1/4 inch MDF, 9 7/16 by 11.5. I was able to find a piece about that size, just a little bit bigger, over in the pile of used MDF. If not, again, you're gonna have to get a big sheet and cut it down, and that's okay, because there's gonna be 60 of you building drawers this week that I'm gone, and we're going to have to cut up a big sheet eventually. It's okay, you can use the panel saw. So now I'm on the table saw. I wanna cut this out to 11.5 inches by 9 7/16 by 11.5. So there we are. We've got all of our pieces now. I've got my 2 sides, my 2 front and back, and my bottom. We can go assemble this. But before I do that, I need to go put my side back on the rack that I took it off of.